Jon Jones, the greatest of all time, going up against Stipe Miocic, the greatest heavyweight of all time. That is the next heavyweight title fight that everyone, even the UFC, wants to see. That's what's supposed to happen. In fact, when Jon Jones went out there and made very short work of Ciryl Gane with respect, that's what he said. He got on the microphone and said,
"Y'all want to see me beat up Stipe?"
That is the fight he wants. That's what I respect about Jon Jones, because he does want the toughest tests. And the crowd went crazy. Stipe smiled, and it seemed like the fight was set. Originally destined for International Fight Week, but then I think it got moved to Madison Square Garden in November. That was the rumor. But now, Chael Sonnen, the Westlands, Oregon's gangster, okay? The number one bad guy, he's coming out and he's saying apparently that might not go down. Now, I'm just going to say, take everything that Chael says with a pinch of salt. This is not me attacking Chael. This is not YouTube wars. This is me just saying, I don't know where he's getting his information. And Chael doesn't even quote a source. But here's what he said. He said, I'm hearing strong rumors that Stipe Miocic and Jon Jones is going to go up in flames. And that Sergei Pavlovich versus Jon Jones is happening in August. I'm hearing strong rumors on that. Okay, he says, I don't know where they are in agreeing, but that's at least being pursued. Now, I will say this, as someone that works for the UFC, I have heard nothing of the sort. Okay, so this is not me breaking news, saying anything like, I haven't heard anything like that. Chael's heard it. I don't know where he heard it, but I'm not here attacking Chael. We're pontificating, we're kicking the ball around with what he's saying and looking at these potential matchups. Now, if you ask me, and we ask you listening, unless you're a goddamn fool, which I don't think you are, and come on, you're listening to the best MMA channel on bloody YouTube. You're a smart, educated man or woman. Although I do think it's like 97% female on this channel. But still, you all want Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic. That's the fight that's got to go down. Jon Jones, as we know, returned, took out Ciryl Gane. Other than Matt Hamill, undefeated, beating some legends, one after the other. Now, Stipe Miocic is coming off the loss to Francis Ngannou. That's when Francis became the champ. Stipe's got a record of 20-4. He defended the heavyweight title more times than anybody else. That's what gives him the claim, rightly so, to be in, and it's not his claim, it's what we say about him, for being the greatest heavyweight of all time. Obviously, he lost against Daniel Cormier, got clipped. You know, it was a great shot by DC. Then he came back, he avenged those two in the trilogy fight. And that was a great set of 3 fights between DC and Stipe Miocic. But when he became the champ against Fabrício Verdum in Brazil, knocked him out going backwards, right hand put him down. He defended against Overeem, defended against Dos Santos, and defended against Francis Ngannou. The 3 title fights, that's record breaking, that's history making, and that is what makes him the greatest of all time. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, that is the hardest fight for Jon Jones, and it's a real fight against somebody well-rounded. Ciryl Gane's incredible, and I'm not here to knock Ciryl. He's a friend of mine. I like the guy, I have so much respect, but in terms of a well-rounded mixed martial art, it's not exactly the biggest threat. Stipe can wrestle, Stipe can box, Stipe can stop takedowns, and Stipe can knock people out. Granted, if it hits the ground, Stipe ain't going to start knocking out go-go platters, reverse triangles, and flying armbars. That's not his cup of tea. His cup of tea is knocking people out, taking you down, picking you up, putting you down, and ground and pounding you. That's what he's very, very good at, and that's what I want to see Jon Jones go up against. Now, according to Chael, that's gone up in flames. So he's going to go up against Sergei Pavlovich. Now, if he is correct, and that's a big if, but if he is correct, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen any footage of Stipe training, but, you know, as we say, this is Chael's theory. Sergei Pavlovich is unquestionably the next guy in line. Right, it's as simple as that. Sergei Pavlovich, we all know about the knockout power. 18-1, 15 of those fights by knockout on a 6-fight winning streak in the UFC. All knockouts in the very first round. He made his UFC debut against Alistair Overeem. That didn't go too well, okay? I think if I remember rightly, Overeem caught a kick, kind of forced him down to the ground, and finished him with ground and pound in the very, very first round. If Overeem can do that, and by the way, Overeem's a very, very talented grappler, many submission wins on his MMA career, so I'm not talking crap. But if Overeem can do that, you got to think Jon Jones can do that. However, he rebounded. Maybe he had octagon jitters. That's what people say, and it is a real thing. But since then, Sergei Pavlovich has been an absolute wrecking machine. Marcelo Gone, Maurice Green, Shamil Abdurakhimov. 3 solid wins, all in the first round. But then he takes a step up. Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa, Curtis Blades, all in the very, very first round. I mean, come on. That is ridiculously impressive. So there is no question. If Stipe Jones, if it does go up in flames, if Chael Sonnen is talking sense, or even if he's talking out of his arse, which he might be, even if he is, hypothetically, Sergei Pavlovich, without question, after beating Lewis, Tuivasa, and Curtis Blades, he's the next guy. Remember Curtis Blades, he thought he was the one. No disrespect to Curtis. He thought, I've got the style, I've got the size, I've got the power, and I've got the wrestling to beat a Jon Jones. Well, Sergei Pavlovich took him out in 3 minutes, 8 seconds. So, I mean, come on. If that is the worthy contender. But it's not the fight I want to see. I believe that if the fight stayed on the feet, then Sergei Pavlovich could 100% knock out Jon Jones. I mean, come on, he knocks everyone out. Simple as that. He seemingly needs one touch. Derek Lewis, the knockout king, alongside Matt Brown. Boom, done. Tai Tuivasa, boom, done. Curtis Blades, boom, done. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that for every knockout. That will get very, very tedious. But that's what he's got. And against Jon Jones, he might be able to do that. But if the Alistair Overeem fight says anything to me, it says that Jon Jones will probably take him down, a low single leg, push him up against the fence, get it down, and just like Cyril Gane, probably choke him out. Stipe Miocic would be a very, very different kettle of fish. I don't think he would have the same success. DC's an incredible wrestler. Didn't really have his way. You know, of course, he did hit some takedowns. Stipe hit some takedowns. Yes, the first fight, DC clipped him with that beautiful shot, and congrats, became the heavyweight champ. Became a 2-weight division champion. Unbelievable. Well done, DC. But the next 2 fights were very, very competitive and very close. We know the second one, Stipe went to work, adjusted, attacked the body. And then the third one went to a decision. But a lot of technical fighting going on in both of those matchups. A lot of wrestling from both men. Stipe is an incredibly talented wrestler. I don't think Jon could take him down. It would play out on the feet. And on the feet, I don't know. I'm not sure who will take that. Of course, Jones has the reach. He has the range. He has the diversity in attacks. You know, Stipe is more of a boxer. So I think the kicks, the team kicks, the oblique kicks, the eye pokes, joking, they would all give Stipe problems. I'm being silly. It's a Sunday afternoon here. I'm joking. I'm taking the piss out of Chael. I'm not saying Jon Jones eye pokes anybody. We're just kicking the ball around about Chael Sonnen'S saying that the heavyweight title fight between Stipe and Jon Jones has gone up in flames. What do you think? Do you think Chael's talking out of his ass?
Jon Jones. No, Jon Jones. It's interesting. Why would he do that? Yeah.
I think he's trying to get views. It's a bit of a slow news week. There was no fights on Saturday, so we don't have much to talk about, but still, Chael always gives us a little bit of entertainment. Jon Jones is going to fight. Jon Jones is going to defend the belt, but he did say he's not sticking around for far too long. And Stipe is somebody that I think would give him a reason to fight, to get up for, to get out of bed, to go and train, to push himself to the max. Sergei Pavlovich is kind of like the new kid on the block. Has he deserved a fight with Jon Jones? Does it merit Jon Jones getting out of bed to fight this guy, Sergei Pavlovich? Jones doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. But the fight that I want to see, and as I said at the beginning, that I guarantee you want to see, is Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic. Hopefully that is still going down in Madison Square Garden later this year. I bloody hope so. Anyway, hope you're all well. Subscribe, ring the bell, and I will see you soon.